Some pretty big news was just released for Rise of Kingdoms, and some of these are going to change the way that you play probably forever. So join me for a breakdown. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms episode from your very own Shappy Gaming. If you're new to the channel, my name's Shappy. I'm a sponsored Rise of Kingdoms content creator. Today we are talking all about the new 1.0.95 patch notes. And yes, you guys can read them. I'll link them in the description so you can go follow along or read them on your own time. But there is additional information that is going to be coming for this update as well. So if you haven't already, do hit that subscribe button right over there, bottom right hand corner, because I will be calling out all of those different updates as well. Now, let's get into it. First things first, participate in the Qin Ascendency Event series to earn a lot of rewards. Well, guys, I don't know if it's a secret. I don't think it is. There's a new Archer commander, and it is going to be Qin Shi Huang, and I am so excited because archers really need new commanders. The question is he actually going to be viable? My guess is probably not compared to Bai Qi. But let's hope for our archer friends. Leave a comment if you're an archer fan and you're dying right now in the comments. So aside from that, there's nothing major there. The main big thing is going to be Melon Market. Now, if you haven't seen my Melon Market guide, that's going to be on the top right side of your screen. Be prepared to be on your farms. Get all your farms ready for this event because you want to make sure that you are maxing out this melon money because there is a ton of resources that you can get. I'm talking over 100 million resources per farm, which if you're going to go into KVK is pretty important. So just keep that in mind. Everything else is just about the same. Fisherman's Fortune, love that event. Got a guide on that too. And then Zenith of Power. Zenith of Power, you guys know the rules. Probably shouldn't compete unless you're planning on putting between 25 and 30 million power up minimum. To be honest, I never bothered. But the most important stuff that is coming is they are adding a team-up phase to the Heroic Anthem, Warriors Unbound, and Tides of War stories. So if you guys saw my last video where I actually called out, all of the different KVK types and why some are better than others, the fact that these didn't have a team-up phase actually came into play. So for Tides of War, this is going to make it even better. And for Heroic Anthem, I guess it finally just brings it up to what I would expect it to have anyways. But the really interesting thing is they've added a match satisfaction rating and voting phase to Season of Conquest matchmaking. During the voting phase, kingdoms can choose to accept or reject the match they've been assigned. If all kingdoms reject the match will be canceled and the kingdoms will be moved to the next round of story registration. So this is cool, but there's a problem. You could end up in a situation where, like our last KVK, and I'll flash the image on the screen for you guys so you can actually see it. There were a ton of kingdoms in this KVK. So getting everyone to vote no would be next to impossible. So I do think this is a good value add. I think it's going to be helpful, especially in smaller KVKs like Strife 58 or some of the ones where you're not going to be in the same situation right now. But there's no way that every kingdom here is voting no. Some of these are fully inactive kingdoms. It's not going to happen. I love it. I think it's a great idea. In practice, I think that you're going to have a really hard time actually skipping it. Especially if you end up in a situation like this where 27-28 may be like, oh, you guys partnering with Kingdom 1002? We're not skipping. Why would we do that? Honestly, I kind of get it, right? Why would you not want the more advantageous team? So it's cool. Unlikely, I think, to actually make an impact. They've also adjusted the pace of Season of Conquest. This is a big one, guys. Eve of the Crusade Wolves start after entering Lost Kingdom. During the event, Marauders and Marauder encampments will be spawned in the Lost Kingdom. They have taken Marauders out of pre-KVK. This is cool because it means that if you actually use AoE commanders, you can also end up chaining in Lost Kingdom Barbarians, which is always going to be really nice. But I'm curious to see if this means they're also going to mess with things like rewards, because if they do, that's going to be a problem for me. But overall, I think the sequencing change is fine, to be honest. I'm not really sure what inspired it or why they chose to do it, but It'll be all right. I guess the downside is you're now trading crystal that you would otherwise be getting from Lost Kingdom Barbarians for reward from Marauders, which is like a direct trade-off. So if you guys are wondering which is better, I do have a video. You can check that out. I break down all the difference. I always prefer Marauders, spoiler alert. They've also adjusted the second stage of Past Glory from Annihilation to Full Speed Ahead. I don't really understand why they did this. If you guys are wondering, like, which one is Annihilation? I just went back and checked an old video I had. Annihilation is actually the one where you're killing barbarians and you're killing barbarian forts. So now they've made it so in round 1, you're donating resources, and in round 2, you're donating Speedups. I don't really get it. Maybe you'll get something in exchange for your Speedups that are worth it, but I'm starting to wonder what those are, because donating Speedups for the chance to get more Speedups just feels odd to me. So we'll have to see how this actually shakes out. Hopefully these rewards are like materials. I can donate Speedups and get materials. That might not be a bad deal. I also hope that I can donate any Speedups, not just the ones that I need. Like, I'd really love to get rid of a lot of my research Speedups. That's something that we in the community have been asking for months. So having the ability to do that would be really, really cool. So I'm hopeful for that. I think it'll be good. Now, some of these other improvements are also really important. This first one is they've added more detail to the description of Bai Qi's expertise skill. Before, after severely wounding 400,000 units, the commander's troop gains a 5% bonus to normal damage dealt. Now, let's be honest, guys. No one's getting 400,000 units in one dispatch. That's just not happening. And what they realized is that's the case, and they still want people to expertise him. So they said, okay. After severely wounding 400,000 units, including any barbarian units, this commander's troop now gains a 5% bonus to normal damage dealt. So what you really need to do is kind of like Hoju Bing. It's a little annoying. As soon as you send Bai Qi out of your city, attack a bunch of barbarians, and then go into combat. And that'll give you the maximum buff, which I think is good because it now gives you a reason to expertise him. Having to go through and kill the barbarians is a little annoying, though. I'm going to be honest. This is not a change I'm particularly pumped about, but I guess it makes sense because otherwise there was not a big incentive to max Bai Qi. They've also adjusted a few commander skill descriptions to more accurately reflect their actual effects. But of course, they won't tell us which commanders it is. I'm curious. It says, yeah, the adjustments are textual only and do not have any effect on the skills themselves. But I do think that we as a community tend to make assumptions based on the skills that we see. So I'm intrigued. Stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed, I will be covering this when more news comes out. Beyond this, they've adjusted the Lost Kingdom Alliance Fortresses rule to make it even better. So they've made it so when building a new fortress, its territory can't overlap with the territory of another alliance fortress. So no more double stacking, which is awesome. Love it. Get us into field fighting. They've also adjusted the durability of alliance fortresses from 50k to 40k and the max durability from 155 to 124. So this is huge. This is going to mean that your Lost Kingdom combat and your KVK is going to move faster. It means that it's not just going to be, shacking up and waiting for a fort to burn. You can actually clear those zones a little bit quicker. So I'm pumped about this. That's a really, really, really good change. What else have they done? They've optimized the visuals of governor troops on the map. I don't really know what that means. Hopefully it means they've fixed strategic mode, so it's a little bit more intuitive. They've added a new bundle, which includes transmutation stones and transmutation crystals. I don't know why anyone would buy this. Personally, I'm not buying it. I guess that someone will. We'll find out. They finally fixed that issue with the daily special offer that had this limited tag and a daily countdown. Not a big deal there. And they've adjusted the calculation rules for how an individual governor's power affects their kingdom's power. So if you guys missed this, I made a video with Gains Gaming. We walked through this and we talked about what this means. I'll link that on the top right corner for you to actually go check it out because that was a really interesting video. And last but not least, they've added a new commander story for Sarka. I don't think we needed that in the slightest. If you guys have enjoyed this new update and the patch notes that are coming out, let me know in the comment section below. And be sure to drop a like on this video. It helps me out a ton and it gets the news out for everyone else. Most importantly, let me know what you guys think about these updates. I think for the most part, they're pretty good. I do think the power creep with Bai Qi is a little odd, but it is what it is. Thank you all. If you haven't already, do hit that subscribe button right over there, bottom right-hand corner. Chappy out.